This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Look, I don't know how long I've been talking about white supremacy, white nationalism, the rise in violence from these groups, the tacit approval given by Republican leaders. I've called the Republican Party the largest white supremacy organization on the planet. I stand by that. Saturday, a racist gunman, an anti-black white supremacist, walked into a Dollar General store and killed, hunted his intended target, black people. His plot was foiled at a historically black university in Florida. He was caught putting on his bulletproof vest or flak jacket, some kind of a protective gear, and noticed that he was noticed and left and went to the Dollar General in Florida, in a state where Ron DeSantis has literally targeted black people relative to their voting rights. He has targeted black people individually and black culture more largely with trying to erase black history, which is American history. And then when this took place, he comes out and makes this tepid, hypocritical, stupid statement coming from him, it is stupid, about how you can't target people based on race in Florida. We won't stand for this. And then he went to an outdoor prayer vigil where he was booed. First, let's start with him and his little statement about not targeting black people, which, wonderful statement. If he lived up to the words, would be great. Watch this.
Perpetrating violence of this kind is unacceptable, and targeting people due to their race has no place in the state of Florida.
Like anything related to these particular matters, both gun violence and the racial problems that Republicans refuse to face and act as though they don't exist while perpetrating them, they just ring hollow, his words. Here's what took place at the prayer vigil while he's being justifiably booed. And I want you to pay attention to Jacoby Pittman. She's the woman who takes the mic from Ron DeSantis and tells the crowd that a bullet knows no party, and this is beyond politics today. We're not going to do politics. While I'm sure her heart is in the right place, was and is in the right place, she's wrong. Because a white supremacist bullet does know party. It does know politics. You're not seeing the Ku Klux Klan reemerge. You're not seeing white supremacy reemerge strong because of Democrats. You're not seeing people wave the Confederate flag at Democrat political events. You're just not. Watch Ron DeSantis get booed and then covered for by a Jacksonville City Council member, Jacoby Pittman.
Well, thank you for doing this. I want to just say to the councilwoman, I got you. Don't worry about it. We've already been looking to identify funds to be able to help, one, make sure there's adequate security for Edward Waters College. We are not going to allow these institutions to be targeted by people.
Okay, listen, y'all. Let me tell you, we finna put parties aside, cause it ain't about parties today. A bullet don't know a party, so don't get me started. Okay, Jacoby is nice, but Ann is not. Now, if the governor wanted to come here and he bringing gifts to my community, y'all know I'm taking the gifts, because we've been through enough already, and I don't want to go through no more. Now, y'all just be quiet just a minute and let the governor say what he gonna say, and we gonna get this party started. You hear me? Okay, let's do it.
She's wrong. Again, I will extend to her the fairness and charity that I think she probably deserves. She's wrong. Angie Nixon is a state legislator in the state of Florida. She was on MSNBC this weekend. And then I'm going to read a statement from her. But here, this is the reality on the ground. This is how people need to be talking about Ron DeSantis and the scourge of both gun violence and gun violence against a specific racial minority. Watch Angie Nixon.
This is a governor who has done nothing but fan these types of happenings throughout our state. Look, at the end of the day, the governor has blood on his hands. He has had an all-out attack on the Black community with his anti-woke policies, which we know very well was nothing more than a dog whistle to get folks up and riled up in the way in which it just happened on yesterday. As I listened to him for the first time with that statement, my blood is literally boiling. Myself and other representatives, particularly Black representatives, throughout the past few legislative sessions, we have repeatedly told him what his rhetoric was going to do. And that is exactly what transpired on yesterday. This is absurd. It's ridiculous. He is one of the causes to this. This is an agenda that he has been pushing since he has gotten into office. He showed us who he was when he initially ran for governor, saying, don't monkey this around, don't monkey this up. Those type of statements, it only leads to things like this.
Can you feel her anger? I hope you can. She has her head on straight. Her heart is also in the right place, but she's saying the correct things. None of this kumbaya nonsense that will get us nowhere. We need to face reality on reality's terms. Acting like there's bipartisanship or bipartisan solutions here isn't getting us anywhere. Talking about the gifts that are being given by the governor. They're not gifts if you are entitled to them. They're not gifts when it's already something that you deserve. Here's a statement from Angie Nixon. From the desk of Representative Nixon on governor's Band-Aid offer of additional funding for Edward Waters University. Quote, let me be clear. No amount of money can erase the pain caused by years of marginalization and oppression. Our historically Black institutions have faced an uphill battle for decades, and I invite DeSantis to go back through the unfilled budget requests and line item vetoes to begin to provide the funding they've needed for years. For it to take murder for him to dig into his overflowing coffers for support is appalling. The recent Jacksonville shooting, which targeted Black individuals, is a stark reminder of the dangerous consequences of unchecked racism. While DeSantis may feign concern, his track record speaks louder than his hollow words. We need actions, not publicity stunts. I urge the governor to do more than make empty gestures and call folks names. It's time for him to truly reckon with the damage he has caused, to apologize for the harm he has inflicted, and to actively work towards undoing the racist system he's helped uphold and grow. Where's she wrong? Of course, Fox News did everything they could do to paint this moment of Ron DeSantis out there as something other than what it is, which is just craven politics. He feels obligated, gotta go down there. When he set up the stage for it to be easier for someone to both physically do this, but also mentally navigate the fraught waters of white supremacy and to get themselves whipped up into a frenzy enough to where they take human life. Watch this moment on Outnumbered on Fox News.
It was the right thing to do. It was empathetic. He started immediately on what he could do when it came to funds. And that local leader stepped up. And what I noticed, and this is what I think has to be discussed, is that when she said there's no politics today, right? There's no parties. That's when you heard more applause. It was a few voices that were drowning out. And then when people were, told to let's back up a little bit, they appreciated that. What's your take?
That interestingly, both of those examples of leadership sort of represented the level that they represent. So we had the federal level coming in steady and strong like an oak, saying, this is the funding that I'm going to give. My deepest condolences. My heart breaks with you. And then the local councilwoman who says, hold on, guys. A bullet knows no party. Let's let this governor speak. Let's let him lead. I really appreciated that level of connection that we saw. And especially when he went on to talk about when he was addressing his constituents about the impending storm and saying so clearly, so down to earth, you don't need to leave the state. The state, we've got you here. You just need to get to higher ground, and this is what you need. He suspended his campaign to engage and connect with local and state constituents because he, at his heart, is a servant, because he understands he's a steward of the people. And it's such a stark contrast with so many others, including our current commander-in-chief.
He didn't suspend his campaign, dum-dum. He went back to his job. Campaigning isn't his job. He's still the governor of the state of Florida, moron. He is not a servant. He is not comporting himself as a servant. It's not compassion. He's not a steward of the people. But the Fox News white supremacy machine, the propaganda outlet, will absolutely do everything they can do to whitewash the image of Ron DeSantis, ignoring all of the things that predicated, all the things that were built upon to create a moment where it's easy, acceptable, encourages a moment like this in Jacksonville. How many more of these are we going to see? For how long are we going to tolerate racist political violence, terrorism? Again, it's not a Democrat problem. This is a Republican problem. What do you think? I'd love to know, especially if you live in this community. I would love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I'll just leave it there. I'll see you next time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Love to hear from you. Follow me on social media @Dollemore. Get at me there. We can talk about it there. Be genuine. Please take care of one another.